for folks that aren't able to join us live. We want to be as flexible as possible, and I know how busy schedules are. All right, again, I'd like to just say thank you all so much for being here. My name is Candy Tillman, for those of you that I haven't met yet on LinkedIn or at 50 Strong at a previous event. I run the day-to-day for 50 Strong. My husband, Kevin, and I started 50 Strong about a year ago. And we host events like this once, sometimes twice a week these days. And so as long as y'all keep coming, and as long as employers keep having really good programs and opportunities that they want to share out, the bar will be open. It may be open more in 2022. So really appreciate everybody being here. 50 Strong is casual, right? And so I want you to know that we will do everything possible. Meeting people in person is always best, right? There's no doubt about that. But when we can't do that, or given that many of you are stationed all across the country and some of you globally, we will do our best to make it as casual as possible while we're virtual. All right, I am going to share my screen just for a quick minute. All right, can you all see this? Yeah?
Yes.
All right. All right. Okay, great. So again, I'd like to welcome you to 50 Strong EmployerConnect. I'm going to launch a quick poll. If y'all could give me a little bit of feedback, I'd really appreciate it, just so that we know any first timers that we may have with us today.
Sure.
All right. So again, welcome. I would like to thank a couple of really close partners that make this event possible in all of our 50 Strong efforts. Those are Wells Fargo, Amazon, Cushman and Wakefield, ADP, the University of Arizona Tech Systems, the University of South Carolina, and Boeing. We are thrilled today to welcome not one, but two of these really close employer partners here with us. And on the call with me today are many folks from Cushman and Wakefield and Wells Fargo that are super excited to share a little bit with you what they have upcoming. It looks like, goodness, I love it. Half of you are joining us for the first time. Thank you so much for being here. I'll give you just a little bit of quick background on 50 Strong, but thank you again. Here's the thing. We started 50 Strong really inspired. My husband, Kevin, separated as an E4 in the Army in 2005, and it took him almost 3 years to find steady employment. I can assure you it was not good for his self-esteem. It was not good for me, but it really just was a waste of his skills and talents. And so really 50 Strong was formed not just by what we saw with him, but hearing that story way too many times over the years. So last year we started 50 Strong, and really what we believe is that a warm connection and direct exposure to industry can really make a big difference. So that's what we spend our time working on. Normally Kevin would be here with me, but he's taking our kids to the dentist today, so please forgive us for that. For those of you that are on active duty, and it looks like 60% of you that are joining us today are currently on active duty. For those of you that are still serving, thank you so much for being here. Early and often exposure to industry partners is so key. For those of you that are joining us as student veterans, and it looks like we have a lot of you here as student veterans, when you choose a post-military education pathway towards civilian employment, we know that this extends your transition. And so again, gosh, do y'all see that fly is like bothering me today? I'll get him during this meeting. But for those of you that are going through higher ed on your way to civilian employment, this transition is simply extended. For those of you that are separated, looking maybe for a new pathway for spouses, thank you all so much for being here. All are welcome to Guard and Reserve. Thank you for being here. So here's what I'm going to start with. Our employer partners actively seek your skills, and many of them have resourced military-specific pathways. You're going to hear about those today. Maybe one of those is a good fit for you, maybe not, right? Maybe it's not for you. But either way, what we hope is that by hearing about these programs and hearing some of the feedback that they're going to share with you today, you might hear about resumes. What we think is that this exposure really helps provide tools for you to own your own job search. So for today, I'd like to welcome a whole bunch of special guests, and I'd like to thank all of them for being here. I'm going to let each of them introduce themselves in just a second. But I want you to know how appreciative we are for your time. Okay, just a little bit about 50 Strong, since we have half of you that are joining us for the first time. We run 50 Strong EmployerConnect and 50 Strong SkillBridge Connect. So this top layer, the EmployerConnect, is for everybody, military affiliated students, separated folks that are separated, active duty spouses, anybody is welcome to join this. Our SkillBridge Connect series is especially for SkillBridge opportunities. Okay, so we do run 2 series of events and we want folks to opt in. Really, the EmployerConnect series is really all about helping you get prepared early and often. We have almost all replays available. How to think about LinkedIn from an employer perspective, that's really important. How to prepare for the interview. Getting into technology, working in aerospace. All these are available for you to review anytime. If you are joining us and you heard about 50 Strong through your education provider, I want you to know that we are collaborating with many education providers that are leaning in on career readiness. And so if you did hear about this event through your school, please pass along our thanks for that. All right, a little bit of housekeeping. And after this, I'm going to turn off my screen so you can see everybody's faces. A little bit of housekeeping. If you are not already using the chat box, please go ahead and do that. This is a great way to connect with folks that are here. If you need help finding your LinkedIn URL, you basically click your picture, go to view profile. You want to pick up the portion that includes the HTTPS so that it shows up as a live link in this meeting. All right, I'm going to stop my screen share. All right. So I promise you, we will not kill you today with PowerPoint. The goal is for you to meet directly with folks that can lead you and tell you about employment pathways for you to consider. Okay, that is always the goal. Employment outcomes is always the goal. At this point, I want to introduce you to a couple of folks that are really critical to all 50 Strong efforts. This meeting was originally intended to be a focus and a highlight on Cushman and Wakefield. I want to thank the Cushman and Wakefield team for being here. They brought the whole team for you to meet today. And a little bit about what our format. We're going to all be together in this big meeting, right? And then we're going to open up breakout rooms. And so when you go into the breakout rooms, you'll have the opportunity to meet with every single one of the folks that you're going to hear from in just a second. We also are super excited to have the Wells Fargo team here with us today. For those of you that do not know, Wells Fargo has 26 folks that work every single day toward veteran employment. We're so happy to have, I think, 6 of them here with us today to share with you about a very special program that applications are currently open. We are going to start with Matt Disher, who leads military initiatives at Cushman and Wakefield. You may not have heard of Cushman and Wakefield. Guess what? I hadn't either before Matt and I started connecting, and I've been in private industry for 20 years, right? So the point of all this is there are so many companies out there that you may not have ever heard of before. And it's so important that you're learning about them because they have some pretty awesome opportunities. And I promise you, once Matt tells you about Cushman and Wakefield, you're going to start seeing it everywhere. All right, so with that, Matt Disher from Cushman and Wakefield. Matt, thank you as always for being here with us. Matt, the floor is yours to talk about Cushman and Wakefield before we go into breakout rooms. You can introduce your team and let each of them introduce themselves if you'd like. So at this time, Cushman and Wakefield, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, Candy. As always, really happy to be here. Thank you, everybody else, for joining the call. My name is Matt Disher, and I'll start with a fun story that Candy forces me to tell. And it's because I told it once and apparently it's stuck. 100 years ago, I served as a combat engineer in the Marines. If you're not familiar with what combat engineers do, we either build things or we blow things up. So I joined the Marine Corps. All the men in my family before me were in the military as well, Navy and Army, no Marines. And so I joined the Marine Corps naturally. My dad and my older brother were in the Navy. So for those of you who know the tension that happens here, the dinner conversations and the Thanksgiving conversations are unique, interesting, full of curse words and smack talk and things like that. I joined the Marine Corps with the goal of getting a job in the military that would teach me something that I could take out of the military and go apply it to the rest of my life. And that was engineering and construction trades. Well, I never built anything. I only blew things up. I was generally attached to an infantry unit, sneaking around on Zodiac boats in the ocean, coming up on a beach, putting C4 on a doorknob, or taking out landmines or IEDs and then leaving. And what I found was that when I drop a resume into a company later on, and I know how to use explosives and C4, and I can do composition B and Bangalores and line charges, and I can take out landmines and IEDs. Well, guess what? Much to my surprise, companies don't know what to do with me. So I have found that I draw a lot of my passion from my own experience leaving the armed forces. There were no programs like SkillBridge. There were very few job fairs like we have today. There were no virtual resources. LinkedIn that simply did not exist when I left the Marine Corps and was dropping my paper resume into companies, or maybe doing some online recruiting or rather applications. So we are here using these tools, and we should be using these tools effectively. The three biggest resources I can tell you to use are networking, networking, and networking. Use your network, use us, ask questions, drop into my LinkedIn inbox. There are not many Matt Dishers in the world, so I'm not hard to find. I look like me minus my nasty looking beard that I'm trying to grow. So I'll start here. Who's Cushman and Wakefield? What kind of law firm are we? Well, we're not a law firm. I use that joke as well because it sounds like a law firm and a lot of people think that's what we are. We're one of the largest global commercial real estate services companies. So what is commercial real estate? It is everything that is either not a highway or a road or a single family house. So we do management, facility maintenance, buying and selling, valuation and advisory, you name it. Anything that has to do with commercial properties or commercial services, we are doing that, down to janitorial work at the Patriot Stadium in New England, just to reference something we all know about. Properties and buildings like the World Trade Center have been in our portfolio. The biggest skyscrapers in your downtown area to the shopping mall down the street are properties that we manage or work among. So just for reference, Candy mentioned, now that you are hearing about Cushman & Wakefield, maybe seeing our logo, you're gonna be driving down the highway and you're gonna see our signs everywhere you go, from empty office space to retail centers to empty fields on the side of the highway. It's gonna have Cushman & Wakefield with a broker's name and phone number on it. So the opportunities we have are anything from associate project manager or property management to project management to maintenance and engineering. Those are really popular right now. Anybody who has a maintenance or engineering background in the military can join our organization, because again, we have operations in cities small and large across the United States. We are ranked 2 years in a row now as a military-friendly gold employer, 2 consecutive years, and we've been on that list for 4 years now. I've been with the organization for about 2.5 years, and we've had a military program dedicated for about 5 years now. So we're not new to the space, but we haven't been doing this for 20 years. And I'm joined by, I'll hand it off to Jamie McCall, but we're joined by a handful of our other teammates who have also gone through our SkillBridge program to join our organization, to include Billy Flagg, who actually is a SkillBridge candidate who came through and now runs military and veteran recruiting programs for one of our major accounts in our C&W services business, which is a sister company in facility services. So you'll hear from those people. I'll kick it over to Jamie, who specifically runs our SkillBridge recruitment program here at the company, and then she'll go consecutively down the list. Thank you so much for joining us. Connect with me on LinkedIn.
Thanks, Matt. Hey, everyone. My name is Jamie McCall. While I did not build things or blow things up, I did provide something that we all need, and that's drinking water. I was a 77 whiskey in the Army National Guard many moons ago. But the majority of my background has been 16 years in corporate recruiting, and I spent a couple of years in career services at 2 different universities. So career development is really a huge passion of mine. I was a student veteran for many years myself. But I run the SkillBridge program here with Cushman and Wakefield, been here about 6 months. I've hired 13 service members so far. For the year, we've hired 25, and we're looking to double that size into next year. So Matt and I are going to be hosting a breakout room. We're really going to talk about our process, the timing, the variety of different roles, because we hire SkillBridge based on full-time open positions. And I'm going to kick it over to other actually SkillBridge that converted into full-time. I would encourage you to visit their breakout room too with Billy, Liz, and George. Because they're really going to be able to tell you about how they were onboarded, from resumes to interviewing to their roles, their day-to-day, and what that transition has been like. So I'm going to go ahead and kick it over to Liz.
Hi, everyone. My name is Liz Harris. I am a senior learning and development specialist for Cushman and Wakefield, and I just retired 1 July. I started my SkillBridge journey back in November. I think it was November 17th of 2020. Where I was searching on the SkillBridge website and came across someone looking for a learning and development intern and contact Matt Disher. And I said, okay. So I emailed Matt and he said, hi. We had a conversation and it kind of spun out of control from there. I started my internship in January of 2021 in the midst of the pandemic and interned from January through May, retired in June, had an offer in the middle of June, right before my retirement date. And I have been working with corporate HR, developing and building learning pathways and training plans for Cushman and Wakefield. I've definitely enjoyed my experience. While I was in the military, I retired after 22 years. I did some HR, I did Intel, and spent the last 12 years doing learning and development for the Air Force. So basically, if it started with T and ended in ING, it belonged to me. And I was able to translate that effectively and bring that over to Cushman and Wakefield. And I'm just so excited to be part of the team. And from that, I'll transfer it over to, I don't see who's next on my screen.
Maybe let's try George.
Okay.
Hey everybody. So I'm George. I'm a former sergeant. I just got out Saturday. So recent EAS. I was a radio maintainer before jumping on as a property administrator for Cushman and Wakefield. I started my journey back in June of this year. I was on board to become a recruiter for the Marine Corps and everything like that, but I just wanted more of a work-life balance and everything like that. So I appreciate my service. I did my 6 years, and I just wanted to find a way to shift my my abilities as a radio maintainer into something that was something that I was more passionate about. So I wanted to get into property, and I wanted to understand how the ins and outs of this business was going to work. So I'm just really happy that Cushman and Wakefield took me on for SkillBridge so I could actually pursue something I really wanted to do. I don't know who I got to hand it off to next.
I got you, man. Hello, everybody. I'm Billy Flagg. I'm the Military Recruitment Program Specialist for C&W Services, focusing on the Amazon account. As you heard, I am a SkillBridge alumni as well. I interned here from middle of July until the end of October, got hired on full-time November 8th, so a month ago, and I ETS next week. Next Monday, I actually ETS, so it worked out pretty well. Quick background about me, I was a tracked vehicle mechanic in the Army for 4 years. I saw a couple people pop up in the chat that they were engineers, so I probably fixed what you guys and gals broke. And then I got put on recruiting duty. I got that email that I was DA selected. Had no choice, did what I could, but I went anyways. Did that for 4 years, and then decided to, to call it a day, as you might say. So one thing that kind of drew me to Cushman and Wakefield was actually a post from Matt Disher originally. Like many of you on the call, you might not even know what Cushman and Wakefield or C&W Services does until about 7 minutes ago when Matt told you. But I urge you guys and gals, anyone on the call, we're all going to have our breakout rooms, pick our brains. I know that's like an overused saying, especially in the transition, but definitely do it. We have a lot of great information for you all. Nothing but great things to say. And, I'm definitely looking forward to, the next hour and 4 minutes with you guys to get you some good info. Thank you.
Billy, I'm going to also jump in, and if there is anybody joining us that is not sure about command alignment to SkillBridge, Billy might be a good person to pick his brain. Sorry to put you on the spot.
No, that's all good. Yeah, so judging by my face, I might subliminally be a little salty on it, but it is what it is. So a lot of commands, unfortunately, they're either uneducated on the benefits to both the service and the service member, obviously, as well as the business. I had, long story short, my timeline, July, I got the verbal thumbs up from my battalion. I was in the Army, so battalion command. When June came around for that, that 6-month window, they said never mind. And then Candy actually helped me out greatly, getting in touch with an individual who was at that level. I don't want to really put him on blast on here. I tag him in a lot of stuff anyways. So I mean, if you all are running into a similar issue, just know there's a team of people who you can talk to about that. I know that stress, trust me. It's an unfortunate event, but there are ways to work around it. Maybe it's just getting the information to those individuals, or maybe you just have to do what I did and jump a level higher. It is what it is. But yeah, definitely don't hesitate to reach out about that as well. It's unfortunate, but it does happen. But I'll be in your corner for that for sure.
Awesome, Billy. Thank you so much. Matt, is there anything you'd like to mention about Cushman and Wakefield beyond what you guys have talked about before your breakout rooms, before I turn it over to the Wells Fargo team?
No, I mean, I think the objective here is, as Jamie mentioned, Jamie and I will have a breakout room separate about our process and how we go about doing things. So what we mean by process really is that, if you're a year out still, happy to have a conversation about what a SkillBridge internship looks like, but we are also too far out to do anything with you at the moment. The way that we run SkillBridge at Cushman Wakefield is we bump all of our SkillBridge internships up against jobs that we will actually have open full time. So it's not a one size fits all program and everybody comes in it and then we figure out how to offer you a job at the end. Some organizations are running like that. We run a little bit differently where we already have the jobs budgeted. They're already posted as real jobs. And then what we would be doing is filling those roles essentially with people who fit the qualifications or the need via SkillBridge. So there's going to be that room where Jamie and I will talk about that process, and I'll be bouncing between the rooms. But then in the other room, Billy and Liz and George will be there as SkillBridge alumni, talking about things like exactly what Billy just talked about. There's sometimes a little bit of the, how do you sell this to your command? How do you take the paperwork to the commanding officer, and what process, what hoops do you need to jump through, in that regard? Or what's the transition like? That's another thing that a lot of people are kind of underrating, the emotional toll of a transition. Like, what happens when you hang up the uniform and go out and start working in a company? What do I need to know about that? So 2 separate breakout rooms. By all means, as I mentioned before, I have a lot of people inside of our business as a whole who have served in the military. Knock on our door if you're like, hey, I don't want to do any of the jobs that Liz or Billy or George are doing right now, but I'm interested in something else. I probably have a veteran in the business in a leadership role that can probably talk to you about that job. So let's use that network to your advantage. Don't hesitate to reach out. Don't hesitate to join these breakouts and ask those silly questions. No question is a dumb question except for the one that you don't ask. So jump in and have this conversation with us.
All right. Cushman and Wakefield team, thank you all so much. Okay, so you have just heard a lot about SkillBridge. It is important to know that SkillBridge is one pathway to employment, and every company may focus on it in a little bit different ways. Okay, so also I have just checked, it looks like 70%, Matt, you'll be happy to hear this, 70% of the folks who are joining us today are E7 or below. So I want to really say to all of you that are here, especially junior enlisted, thank you so much for taking an active role in your transition. All right, so now I want to turn it over to the Wells Fargo team. We've just talked a lot about SkillBridge, amazing program. The Wells Fargo team has a really awesome program right now that is for those that are off of active duty by April of next year. And so at this point, I'm going to kick it over to David. Can I kick it to you?
Absolutely.
All right. So David, do you mind to please tell us about the very cool Veteran Employment Transition Program? And David, I'll let you, I can pull up my screen, David, the slide that you sent me if you'd like. And then let's make sure that we get to introduce all the Wells Fargo team before we open the breakout rooms.
That's great. And thank you so much, Candy. We just want to acknowledge you and tell you that we so much appreciate you, Kevin, and the 50 Strong team for everything that you do for us at Wells Fargo, for the veteran population as a whole. Being a veteran myself, we cannot thank you enough for everything that you do. And I just want to send a special shout out to Matt Dish, Matt and his entire team for at the Cushman and Wakefield side of the house. I personally know some of the things that they've done, and just an amazing company. If you haven't heard of them, I absolutely echo what's been said. Just a great collaboration, a great team, and thank you all for allowing us to be part of this as well. So very much appreciate you. I wanted to start off just by talking a little bit about the Wells Fargo program. Even though I am fairly new to Wells Fargo, I hit my 120 days on tomorrow as part of the Stagecoach, but it's an amazing program. I'll talk a little bit about my history a little bit. I am an Air Force veteran, did 21 years active duty service, held 3 different military specialties, started off in ground air communication. I was a comm guy. So the radios that I broke, George had to fix from Cushman and Wakefield. And then I transferred over to the HR and Intel side of the house as my second military specialty, or AFSC. Did that for a while, won some great awards, did a lot of great things, some secret squirrel things, had a top secret clearance. And I finished up actually in training and development. So I can echo Liz as she talked about, if it started with T and ended in ING, I too was the person on the Air Force side that handled that. So just a shout out to our counterparts there. But one of the things that I was able to do was really find out a lot about what was happening in the veteran community, and it was firsthand experience. As I got out, as I talked about, I thought I had a diverse background and that I was a shoo-in for finding employment, and about 56 applications in the process and no callbacks. You really start to second guess yourself. It's like asking 56 people to the prom and no responses. So you kind of wonder, hey, what's happening here? But I was lucky enough to land and study the science and land with a veteran service organization, being able to help veterans with their transition for the last 9 years, along with helping companies launch and enhance their military hiring initiative. So I got a chance to peek behind the curtain. And in April, when our organization closed, it was a no-brainer to become part of the Wells Fargo team for many, many different reasons. First of all, the company started back in 1852, which is a long time before I was born, and they've had a history of success since. Over 7,200 locations around the world in 31 countries, and since 2018, we've hired over 6,000 veterans. So it's just an amazing program combined with amazing people, and part of that is I've had an opportunity to come on as a business initiatives consultant and the program manager for this amazing vet program. That's not a skill bridge program, but it is for those that have successfully transitioned for the military or that will be transitioning as of 4 April of 2022. So I'd like to spotlight a few things on the program, and then I'll kick it over to my teammates that are here that are very, very smart and highly diverse in the many programs that we have, vet being just one of many that we offer to help veterans become part of the team. So if you don't mind, Candy, go ahead and show that slide that we have. And I just want to highlight a few things about our vet program. Our Veteran Employment Transition Program is an 8+ week virtual internship with intensive training and orientation sessions. These sessions are led by professional instructors as well as our senior Wells Fargo team members. Our internship offers competitively paid mid to senior level positions that convert directly to full-time employment based on performance. And over the past few years, we usually hire about a class of about 30 to 50 annually to participate in the program. But now that the program is offered twice a year, not once in the spring, but also in the fall, we went to double that. And our goal was very lofty for 2022. And I'm happy to say that in our spring cohort this year, we have 91 openings over various roles across 8 lines of businesses. So that lets me know that, hey, I want every veteran to know that, hey, there's an opportunity for you. If you fit the criteria, we want you to really think about it. And our program works, as we talked about, that the positions convert to full-time employment. But what I love about it is that there's such a high success rate. Over 93% of interns that have successfully performed in our program have converted to full-time employment over the last 3 years. That's unparalleled. As I worked in a nonprofit space, I had never seen anything like that. But to be eligible, as I talked about, this is not a skill bridge program, but you have to be off of active duty or on terminal leave by no later than 4 April 2022 to qualify for the spring program. And if not, we ask that you consider the fall program that will start up very soon, right after that, with applications starting around the May timeframe. Now, this is very important to identify. Our application period is open now, and it closes very soon. On the 12th of December is the last day to apply for the vet program. So if you're interested, we want you to apply early and be prepared to go through the program. Now, our program, we want you to identify as a veteran, as well as there's a quick questionnaire that's going to follow up that you have to respond to within 72 hours to participate in our program. We'll do phone screens in mid-December, and then we'll have 3 webinars to help veterans to prepare to really find out about the lines of businesses and everything that we offer. A lot of people think that it's just about crunching numbers, but there's so much more within the Wells Fargo umbrella. And we'll also prepare you for final interviews. The last thing that you'll get a chance to do is meet with some of the program alum to be able to talk about what it's like to actually be an intern. And then we'll have our final interviews in February of 2022. Offers will be extended at that time. We'll do background checks in March with the program starting, as I talked about, on April 5th. So if this sounds like something that's interesting to you, we want to talk more with you, but I want to emphasize, please apply now. Make sure that you go out and you do that so that we can include you in the process. And amongst my team, there are so many great people here that know so much more about this program as well as our diverse program. So I'm going to kick it over to my manager and one of my heroes that has set me up for success as I transition, and that's Maggie Reinagel. Maggie is amazing in so many ways, and she's just my hero. So Maggie, I want to turn it over to you. Thank you for everything that you do to help us to be a success, and please take it from here.
Thank you so much, David, and definitely an honor to lead this amazing team. My name is Maggie Reinagel. I'm so happy to be here representing Wells Fargo and talk to everybody about not just the vet program, but some tremendous other programs that we offer. I am the head of military talent for events and programs. You're going to be hearing from several people on our team. Half the people on this call today actually represent the recruiting sourcing side. And David, myself, and John Axtell, who you'll be hearing from shortly, we actually run programs. So the vet program that David just outlined, We also have a Boots to Banking. We also do Skill Bridge through the Corporate Fellowship Program under the U.S. Chamber. And then we also have our apprentice program. So there is many different ways to connect with Wells Fargo. So we're really excited to get into those breakout rooms, and each of us have a wealth of knowledge when it comes to the different programs that we do run. So doesn't matter which breakout room you go to, we're all going to be able to provide the same information. Just know that there is a very short fuse if you want to get involved and put your application in for that spring internship, if you will. Wanted to keep in mind here that sometimes people only think about Wells Fargo as a bank, but think about it as an overall community. We have 8 different lines of business at Wells Fargo that are going to be participating in the VET program. And think about commercial banking, investment banking, risk, recruiting side of the house. We look at finance, we look at internal audit, legal, technology. So all of those different skills that you have that do translate into corporate America, we want to help you identify and define. So I know that we're going to be breaking out into different rooms to talk about how to best connect with Wells Fargo. Suffice it to say, because of that short fuse and getting those applications in by the 12th of December, I definitely want to put that one on your high priority list to take a look at and to ask those questions in the breakout room. I do want to give a little background on myself because I think it's very interesting how I landed here at Wells Fargo. I am a former military spouse of 27 years. I went through 9 deployments, 5 of those being combat tours after 9/11, and so I was actually in the background. But what was so amazing about the transition when I went through with my former spouse was that I had a job. I had a job with benefits, which allowed my former spouse to actively pursue, something that he didn't just have to settle for. He was actually able to identify, target, and get out there and start interviewing. I know we heard a story earlier that there was no LinkedIn. There was no way for us to get out there and help our active duty, soon to be transitioning active duty, to get out there and get in front of folks. So this is an opportunity, and I have devoted my entire adult life in helping military spouses and veterans find meaningful employment. And I will share with you that those voices that you're going to hear on the call today are all about you finding that next step. We know that taking off that uniform is very hard, and we want to help you find that meaningful employment so that you can continue that service. And no better way than to identify an organization that is not just military friendly, but military ready. And when I mean ready to take you into that environment and help you not just come on board, but develop, grow, promote you, and retain you. That is so important. And at Wells Fargo, we feel we've found the secret sauce. We have identified programs that are not just skill bridge for the active duty, but those that are actually separated that can actually find meaningful employment. So long as you meet, of course, the program requirements, as David talked about, you can transition full-time from an internship to a full-time employee. There's not many organizations that actually do that for the veteran community and the veteran population. And these are not just starting out, get your foot in the door, which is one of the few terms in the world that kind of makes my skin crawl, because you're never just putting your foot in the door. You're gaining valuable experience from day one. And these valuable experiences, we have 91 different roles we're trying to fill right now. And we are very excited to, again, go into that in greater detail when we break out into those sessions. So take advantage of the wealth of information you're going to hear from all of the speakers from, of course, both organizations that are on the phone today. I'm not going to take up any more of your time. I'm going to pass it over to John Extel, who is on the events and programs team. And then we're going to kick it over to the sourcing and recruiting side, because they are going to give you valuable tips and strategies on how to connect with us now for future opportunities if you are absolutely not through that transition process by April 4th. So let me go ahead and kick it over to John Extel. He's going to talk a little bit about our apprentice program, and hopefully that if you're not ready now for the VET program or some of the other opportunities, the apprentice program might be for you in the near future. So John, take it away.
Thank you, Maggie. And thank you, Candy, and everybody for allowing us to be here. A little bit about myself real quick. I have been at Wells Fargo for about 5.5 years now. I started out as a recruiter and worked my way up to a business initiative consultant as the program lead/manager, I guess you could say, for our military apprenticeship program. Like Maggie said, really want to focus today on the VET internship. Really great opportunity to take a look at now. And then at the beginning of the year, if it doesn't work out or it does work out, we'll have opportunities for a 1 to 2 year paid military apprenticeship program for different roles. So it's a really great opportunity. An option for other programs here at Wells Fargo. one of the things I want to touch, I just want to really touch base on something that Matt Disher said earlier, is networking. That's what you're doing today with both Cushman, Wakefield, and here at Wells Fargo. And there's an amazing lady on the call today. Her name is Lori Norris. When I talk about networking, I will tell you that she probably does not remember me, but the reason why that I am in this role today, and I've told Candy, I think 100 times, and I've told everybody that I owe everything that I have to her in this role and my promotions and everything the last 5 years to Lori Norris. And it's all about networking. I met her at a TAP class. She took an infantry Marine who did not want to be a police officer and get shot at on his own country, and helped me find an opportunity to become a recruiting coordinator contractor for a company called US Airways at the time. And everything that she's taught me is the reason why I'm in this role today, why I want to be in this role, and the reason why I work for Wells Fargo and have the opportunity to speak with you all today and give you opportunities as well. So networking will get you where you need to be. And knowledge is power when it comes to transitioning out of the military, when it comes to companies, programs, and how to build a resume, how to interview, things like that. So every chance you get, learn and network and find those opportunities. So I'm going to cut myself short. You'll get a chance to talk to me in the breakout rooms. I'm going to throw it over to Missy Rinkenberger, very close friend of mine, very close coworker. She works on the TA sourcing consultant side that helps sourcing and manage consultation into our line of businesses. So go ahead and take it away, Missy.
And Missy,
Thank you, John.
Missy, hey, Missy, can I just jump in really quickly?
Yeah.
I want everybody to know we are going to open the breakout rooms right after the Wells Fargo team finishes their introductions. But I am going to talk a little bit about Lori Norris, who John just mentioned. So thank you again for that shout out to Lori, John. Okay, Missy, sorry, back to you.
You're good, Candy. It's nice to see you again. As John mentioned, I am Missy. I'm on the sourcing side, and I just want to take a quick moment to say thank everybody on this call for their service. I did not serve. I am maybe a reason why you serve. I'm a civilian who got the benefit of being protected and supported by those of you giving your service time. So thank you all for doing that. I have been at Wells for just over 8 years. I have spent my entire time in talent acquisition and sourcing of individuals. I consider myself kind of a nerd recruiter. I love it. I will talk about recruiting and talent acquisition all day long, and love what I do. I support 8 of our 15 lines of business in their strategy and execution. I am the sourcing SME or expert and apprentice. So John is the program. I am on the side of the talent pool and evaluating the pool and helping that get ready. And I spend a ton of time in that. So I would say if you have specific questions about kind of navigating corporate processes, that's where I feel like I have the most benefit to you all and what I can do to help. I really am focused on ensuring that you guys have a great path into organizations like Cushman and Wakefield and Wells Fargo, or any other organization that you desire to express interest in. And I'm deeply passionate about supporting you all. So again, just want to say thank you to everybody who has served or is serving. And I'm super proud to get to be a part of this team and impact these lives. I'm very, very, very lucky that this is what I get to do for a living. And I thank you all for allowing me to do that. Candy, really quick, I just want to say, I think Fred is on the call, who is my partner in crime and sourcing. So if he is, I want to let him give a quick shout out and say hi. If not, then we will send it back to you to say hi. So Fred, did I see you out in the audience? My buddy on the sourcing side?
You did, and out of respect to time, I'll keep it really short. My name is Frederick Ward. I too am a military talent liaison, former Marine air traffic controller, recruiter, and HR professional. I've owned 2 IT staffing firms. I've owned 2 insurance companies. I've also owned 2 mortgage companies. So I am an entrepreneur by nature. I ran into the same problem that Candy's husband did when I came out of the military way back before the internet was even invented. There was no one there to help me, and finding employment was a difficult thing. And as you go through those years of trying to find your way, your ego, you can either take it and build, or it can actually affect you in a negative way. So the reason I'm so passionate about what I do is to make sure that you guys can navigate the gauntlet of Wells Fargo, if this is the organization that you choose to show an interest in, help you navigate what we do, how we do it, get you Wells Fargo ready so that you don't run into the same obstacles I did. And if I can't do it, I'll die trying. Thank you for your time, and I'll give it back to Ken.
Awesome. Listen, y'all, truthfully, the Wells Fargo team just planned to join us 48 hours ago. And so I just want to thank them again for being here. Again, a special shout out to Matt Disher for kind of agreeing. What you'll see in the veteran employment space is we're all working together diligently. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. One of the things that we had planned to talk about today was resume preparation. And part of that was because Jamie McCall sent me a note not long ago. Jamie, again, runs SkillBridge for Cushman and Wakefield. And Jamie really shared with me something that she was seeing far too often. And that was that folks' resumes weren't quite ready for her to put their resumes in front of hiring managers. And so a lot of what we do at 50 Strong is not only introduce you to employment pathways, but also share with you ways to really be prepared, right? And your resume is just one of those really important components. We have a special guest here with us today that I have asked to be with us specifically to talk to people that have questions about the resume. So Lori, given time, what we're going to do, if you're okay with it, is we're going to go straight into the breakout rooms. But what you will see is that Lori Norris is a resume professional, and she's going to be hosting her own breakout room. If you have specific questions about your resume that you want to ask Lori's opinion on, then please go ahead and spend some time in her breakout room. Casey Spearman, I think you're on with us. Casey, was it you recently that said you got your resume done, but it wasn't until you started talking to recruiters and employers and you knew how to articulate what was on your resume that the magic light bulb went off? Casey, if that was you and you're here, I want to applaud you, because I think far too often I hear people say, who can help me write my resume? And really what you should be looking for is who can help guide you, but your resume has to be yours, because by goodness, you better be able to talk to it. Sorry, I'm going to get off my soapbox. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to open up my screen again so that we can talk about how the breakouts are going to work. All right, so I'm going to press a button. And when I do that, you should all see a breakout room button at the bottom of your screen that looks a little bit like what's on my screen now. All right. To enter your breakout rooms, what you're going to do is you're going to press that button, and you're going to see a list of breakout rooms that we have set up for you today. It's going to look a little bit different than what's on the screen, but you'll get the idea. To enter a breakout room, you're simply going to hover over the number of the room. It's going to change to join, and then you click on that. Then what's going to happen is that's going to send you into that breakout room. I'm going to broadcast a message at each 10 minutes as an FYI only. Here's what I want you to do. This is a lot like a bar, and folks are going to be in different corners of the bar. I want you to go and participate in conversations that are meaningful for you, okay? If you go meet with Matt and Jamie, and after 4 minutes, you've got what you need, fine, go talk to somebody else. If you need to stay with Matt and Jamie for the next 40 minutes, awesome, right? I want you to use these breakout rooms and go talk to as many people as you need based on the reason that you're here and where you are in your journey. Speakers, please stay in your breakout rooms. Attendees can then self-navigate in and out as they need to. Speakers, you all also can share your screens, okay? If you are, let's say you go meet up with David and Missy, who are going to be in a breakout room together. You got your questions answered. You know how to apply for the VET program. Let's say you want to go visit a different room. You click leave. That'll put you back in the main room, and then you can pick another room to visit. Again, reminder, Lori Norris is a resume professional, and she is going to be hosting her own breakout room to share with you some gold nuggets, okay? All right, so I'm going to stop my screen share. The breakout rooms are open. If you have any problems getting into a breakout room, I will be in the main room. And if you cannot move yourself, it's probably because you have an old version of Zoom. Put in the chat box where you'd like to go and I can manually move you. All right, so at this time, the breakout rooms are open. Again, look for the button that says breakout rooms and everybody should be able to navigate on their own. So I'm gonna take a look.
You had
All
me
right.
worried, Candy, that until you threw it up that Lori was here, that I was in the wrong 50 strong
No,
meeting.
She's here. She's here. We just had, we're moving quickly and adding in some programs, okay? All right,
No
so
worries,
I'm
thank
just gonna, sure thing. I'm gonna take a quick look and make sure that folks are moving. Wells Fargo team, I want to make sure that you are in your rooms. If you need help moving to a room, unmute yourself, let me know, and I will move you.
I'm trying to move. This is Frederick. I'm trying to move myself, and I'm smart enough to click on the word join. It's just not
Okay,
happening.
hang on. I
Oh,
got
I
you.
got it. I got it.
All right, click on that. Click on the join, guys. David, I'm moving you. David, you got it. Okay. David, nope, you're here with me. Let me see if I can get you moved. Oh, there you are. Okay. Anybody else from the Wells Fargo team or the Cushman and Wakefield team need help getting into their rooms? All right, let me just take a quick look. I think folks have figured it out. All right. Okay. All right. For those of you that are still here with me in this room, there are 17 of you that are still here with me. Cassie, I'm going to move you now. All right. All right. So for those of you that are still here with me, do me a favor, drop in the chat box so I can just see it easily and move you all. The room you'd like to move into. And I can manually move you. Bubber, gotcha. All right. Money. Jeremy. All right. Corey. All right. Anybody else that's still here with me? Let me see if I've missed any messages. Okay, if you're still here with me and you can hear my voice, go ahead and unmute yourself. All right. And just let me know where you need help moving to. Anybody? Gregory, Jeff? All right. If you can hear me and you do need help moving, just unmute yourself and let me know. All right. I'll just hang out. If anybody needs me, just unmute and let me know. Hi, Brady. How are you? Thanks for being here.
Oh, you got us.
Hello. We were in the middle of a sentence.
Oh, no.
Yes, we didn't get the chat. We're not on the chat. That's why we didn't get it.
Okay, David, did you just, I'm just dropping in the chat box now. I want everybody to make sure that they know the link for the Wells Fargo team is not in the chat, so I'm gonna drop it in here. Hang on.
Yes, please put that. I sent the email. Did you get my email?
Yep.
Yeah,
Awesome.
and
You rock,
David,
Ken.
somebody had already gone out there using the 650 number
Oh,
instead of the
no.
560. That's okay. We just have to get it back out and show.
That was me.
Wait, so, okay, wait, hang on. I just put the wrong one in there. So let me put the right one in there again.
Yeah.
All right, so it's actually
560
560
5636.
636. David, don't worry. I told everybody the right one in our chat room.
Thank you.
I verbally read
Thank
it
you.
off of an email.
Thank you.
So just so you know, I got your back, man.
Appreciate
Okay.
you. See, those are my teammates. They were asking the last question that everyone asked on my team is tell me about the last 120 since I was there, and I just told them I love it, and that's a testament why my teammates have my back. It is truly a team effort across the board, so it's a testament to everything that goes.
All right, so let's make sure next steps. Please follow up on all your action items for today. I have gotten messages privately from several folks just during this meeting that they are now applying to both Cushman and Wakefield and Wells Fargo. I love it. This is the goal. Please make sure that you're following up on all your action. Can everybody go on mute for me? All right. Listen, here's what I want you to keep in mind. Listen, here's what I want. Oops, sorry, I'll mute everybody. All right, everybody's now muted. Okay. All right, so I won't bother sharing my screen again. Please follow up on everything that you've gotten today. Please make sure you're applying to these appropriate roles. Every single one of the employer representatives here has already dropped in their LinkedIn information. Please go follow them, go connect with them, right? That's the goal. This is likely the last 50 Strong event of 2021. If you're here with us today, you are part of a test that I've been running the last couple of weeks to find out if these large meeting styles with lots of breakout rooms and lots of folks from employer partners can work. I appreciate you all. We are moving quickly and improving every single day. Before I let you go, I again want to say thank you to the Wells Fargo team for being here. I want to say thank you to Lori Norris for being here. Lori's room was full, packed actually with the highest number of folks throughout the breakout rooms. So Lori, I want to say thank you for being here. I'll sync with you on next steps in case we should do this again. To the Cushman and Wakefield team, you are the feature employer for this event. I appreciate you being collaborative. And I want to say thank you to all of our sponsors for making this effort possible, of which Wells Fargo and Cushman and Wakefield are a huge part of that. I'm 3 minutes over your time. Matt Disher, are you still with us?
No, I'm not here anymore.
Matt, I would like to turn it over to you in case you have any parting words that you'd like to bestow upon us of wisdom.
Man, I am all wisdomed out, but I'll say this. Let me first thank all of you for being here, because I think that I wouldn't have a job, I wouldn't have so much fun at work if it weren't for all of the people who are either serving and or looking for your next great opportunity after serving in the military. So of course, thank you for your service. I know that sounds pretty cliche, but I am one of you, and I got help from other people when I was transitioning out too. And so I always believe in, putting back the, sending the elevator back down, so to speak. So, again, use these resources, use these people. Part of what I get paid to do is this kind of stuff. And I enjoy it. I'm one of those one of those people that loves what I do, and fortunately I get a paycheck to do it. I also want to thank Wells Fargo and the team for being here today. Of course, you know, these events are always better when there's a variety. You can hear from Cushman and Wakefield all day, but when we have other people giving other perspectives and other businesses giving other perspectives, it adds a couple of options for you to explore. I know for me, when I was leaving the Marine Corps, I thought the only thing I could do was go into law enforcement. I was unaware of all of the opportunities out there and what these different businesses did. And I didn't realize that companies had HR departments and recruiting and IT and all the things. So you might see Wells Fargo as a bank, but they also have all the support functions behind them, which is similar to the military. Military is 15% infantry or combat arms. The rest of it is support functions. So all the other jobs, veterinarians and doctors and IT people and support, stuff like that, logistics, et cetera. So use these resources, use these people as resources. Of course, reach out to us. I want to thank the rest of my team here at Cushman for joining as well. But you know, again, the dumbest question is the one that you don't ask. So please ask the question, stay in touch with us. If you don't hear from us right away, it's just because we get buried sometimes. So that's all I've got, Candy. Thank you so much again for having us.
Awesome. Thank you all.
Andy, you and Kevin are awesome. This is such a cool thing, and I'm so impressed that you guys do this. I just had to tell you that this is by far one of my favorite events to come and do. You guys are awesome.
Thank you, Missy. We really appreciate it. Listen, the bars can be open more in 2022. So seriously, please follow us on LinkedIn. We will post our upcoming events there first. Again, I just want to say thank you to all of our partners for making 50 Strong possible. Cushman and Wakefield, Wells Fargo, Tech Systems, Boeing, Amazon, ADP. Did I say Boeing? But to all those partners. Lowe's, United Health Group. Jamie, thank you so much. Thank you all so much. We appreciate you being here. We will see you in 2022. Happiest of holidays. Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy holidays. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for everything.
Thank you.
Your husband.
Holidays.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Happy holidays, everyone. And Candy, you are like
Happy holidays. Thank you, everyone.
great program. I look forward to it. Take care.
Thank you.
Candy, we got to discuss important things like what we're all doing when I'm coming in town in February.
Hey, by the way, Angel Johnson's on the phone. Angel, are you still here? Okay, but yes, we do need to talk about the important things that you're doing in February. So do you want to, like, are hikes important?
Hikes.
Restaurants
with food.
Restaurants with food, very important. Maybe a cocktail.
Yeah, happy hours.
Okay, let's talk
I'm
about
in
that.
on that. I'm right here too.
Yeah, so I'm going in for the Luke Air Force Base career fair.
Yep.
And I forget what
I'll
date.
be there.
I forget what date it is. Middle of February at some point. It's the week. It's like the 18th or the 16th or something.
Yeah, I owe. Apparently, I'm throwing a party the night before that at my house or something like this.
That's what we're talking about.
This is what I hear. So, but yes, we will talk about all of those important things, Matt. Awesome.
Just for Kevin, I'll bring the bow and arrow and the Marvel crew.
And the costume?
And the costume. Kevin thinks I look like, what's his name?
Hawkeye in the Avengers.
Now that he has his own show, he has his own TV show.
Dude, we watch it and it comes out, you know, they like sprinkle it once a week, and Kevin and my son are mad, like crazy, keeping an eye on whenever it comes out.
I'm gonna have to watch it. I'm gonna have to
He
watch
also
it.
got a, sorry, not that it's completely random, but he's also got a show on Paramount. The CBS online app. But
well, what do you know?
You guys are, I went super casual because it was after 1700 here. So I took off my uniform, but I wanted to take 30 seconds to say thank you so much for putting these together. I will be fully employed by the first of the year. So, but
Amazing.
The resources in the information you've shared has been invaluable, and I just wanted to make sure I showed up and supported
Thank you, Nick.
this last one. So if you need anything in the future, I know we're connected on LinkedIn. Just let me know how I can help. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Nick, and congratulations to you, Nick.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm off to a middle school basketball game. Thank you all again, and we will see you soon.
See you,
Okay.
everybody.
Thank you.